You are watching and listening to Tags Live, aka Talk About Gay Sex, the live edition, here every Wednesday night on vocal.com. That's VOKL.com. This is episode 413. I'm your host, Stevie, alongside Kodi Maurice Doggette. How the hell you doing, Kodi?
Hello, darling. I'm doing well tonight. Thank you.
Love that.
Yes, I'm wearing my Hello, Darling shirt, listeners. So, yes, it's
Yeah,
going to be a wonderful evening.
Great time to wear that as I'm wearing our Tags podcast shirt. And, it officially is holiday season to start getting some of the gifts for yourself or somebody you know. And right now, you can get merch, Tags merch, like the one I'm wearing. We'll probably recreate the one that Kodi's wearing. Hello, darling.
Yeah.
And then we'll create the in this climate
in
a couple of weeks. I'll have those up and hopefully in a couple of weeks, and you will be getting 35% off all merchandise. All you have to do is go to TAGSPodcast.com and click on Tags merch, and all the details will be on there. But now's the time to get some of that stuff to, for yourself or for somebody that listens to the show.
Yep.
By the way, we are live on Wednesday night, and we are broadcasting live on YouTube. We have a live audience watching us. Hello, everybody there. And you too can always listen to us live and watch us and put your comments, weigh in on the conversation. Let us know you have some questions or just say hi. We are here for you. Lots to cover in this next hour, including, I got my flu vaccine COVID shot, or my flu vaccine and my COVID shot today, all in one in my left arm. Yeah, I just decided after hearing you and Lincoln talk about it on a previous episode and knowing that I'm going to be traveling, I'm going to be going to Puerto Vallarta and Nayarit, Mexico in 2 weeks. And then I will be going to the Bay Area, California. So I just felt like I should probably get vaccinated and get the flu shot. So I feel alongside the monkeypox and everything else that we got going on in our systems. I mean, we're toxic in a good way, I hope. Like Britney.
You read my mind, boo. Yes. So it's definitely that time. We're just a big old cocktail of vaccinations right about now.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, we love to read comments when you guys talk back to us, and it really does keep the conversation going. And you can always write back into us at Tags Podcast on all social media platforms. But we are also streaming to YouTube every week, and some of our YouTube audience had some things to say about some previous shows.
Oh, really?
Jaquan Williams heard one of our recent episodes where we were talking about Dahmer, and we kept talking. If you remember, we were talking about the creator of Dahmer series, who essentially was saying why he made it, and that they did try and contact some of the victims, but it was really all about the victims. He said, I'm hearing stories on Twitter about kids showing up this past Halloween as Jeffrey Dahmer, so I don't know if the message is getting across the same for everyone.
Wow.
Also, as far as the UK OnlyFans 10-inch star, remember, so we were talking about, I don't have his name in front of me right now. It's somewhere over here.
I could try and look it up.
Yeah, we were talking about this UK guy who's bragging. He's mostly straight porn. Wish I had it here. I think I do actually have it here, believe it or not.
Okay.
Theo James, not Theo James.
Yeah, no, that's the actor from White Lotus.
Sorry, I didn't write his name down, but he's an Irish porn star out in the UK who's bragging about his 10-inch dick. And this guy, Jaquan, says, as far as the UK OnlyFans 10-inch star being the largest is silly, he needs to visit Brixton in the Jamaica area or Hempstead Heath during midnight. He would have to reassess that comment. Oh,
Okay,
I
hey.
think I gotta go there to Brookston or
I've been to
Hempstead.
Brixton. It is a lot of
Yeah.
fun. And is it Andy Lee that was the porn star? I think that's who it
Yes.
is.
Yes. Thank
Yeah.
you.
You're
That
welcome.
was him. Perfect. Yeah.
So shout
Irish.
out to Andy Lee. Hey.
Shout out to Andy Lee, and thank you, Jaquan, for writing. And also, who Tim Gallegos, who listens to us on YouTube, said, I totally agree with Jeremy about being in public spaces after COVID-19. I definitely can relate to shutting down. I get the worst imaginable social anxiety, and I feel awkward and feel like something is seriously wrong with me. Thank you, Tim, for expressing that, because I think those feelings, we were talking about how post-COVID, the anxiety that many of us feel in being in large crowds, and we were really referencing it to Seoul, Korea, and the horrible atrocity of the crush that killed over 154 people recently, and what it's like for reemergence post-COVID, and how people are kind of reassessing. You were saying being kind of on the outskirts of the dance floor, but your boyfriend Joe wants to be in the very middle.
And we compromise. It's always a compromise when you're in a relationship. So yeah, it's so sad. And I really understand what everybody is going through. And I really relate to everybody. And I hope you guys are staying safe out there.
Absolutely. Hi, James, watching us live from Chicago. Great to see you. All right. I do want to talk about this next person, and it's a sad story. There is Andre Hurtado. Am I saying his name right? Andre Hurtado.
So.
Sorry, Cristian Andre Hurtado has passed away at the age of 34. And you might ask, where do you know him from? Many of you may have watched, like I did, and I know Kodi did, RuPaul's Drag Race Vegas Review. It was that show. It was a limited series about the making of the Drag Race live production on a Vegas stage. And if you remember, if you saw it, it was only about 6 episodes, maybe 8, I'm not sure. And RuPaul was in it. It had a curated cast of main staples Drag Race stars. And it was all the road to putting this show on a Vegas stage. As the show progressed, we learned that ultimately COVID didn't allow it to go up. I think it's up now, which is very exciting. And
yeah, I think it's up now.
Yeah, maybe with the same cast. I'm not sure. I plan on seeing it this next spring, which I'm really excited to go. Yeah, more on that. Hey. I'll tell you more about that later. But Cristian Andre Hurtado was at the time on the show boyfriends with Cameron Michaels.
Yes,
and he came on, and during that whole stint, the relationship didn't last. In fact, he broke up with Cameron Michaels and went home. I actually got an inkling for him and thought, well, he's single now, and friended him on his private account on Instagram, and he accepted it. And he did one of those things where he accepted my friend request and then started liking some of my pictures, and I was beside myself at the time because I thought he was so hot. Well, sadly, he passed away at the age of 34, and his loved ones have set up a GoFundMe account to help with his memorial. And one of the people that really helped out with him is Boomer Banks, who befriended Cristian, and they became fast friends in the course of 4 years. In the article that I'll post on TAGSPodcast.com, Boomer says it was such a shock, and part of his soul is just ripped away because they did become such great friends in such a short time. They really got each other. Cristian's mom is just beside herself, and Boomer Banks has spent the last week, because I think he just passed away a couple days ago, because if you look at his Instagram, he was posting Halloween pictures and post pictures with his current boyfriend and looking very happy. There's no note on how he passed away, but our hearts and thoughts are with the family and his mom in particular, because she's really going through it according to this article and spending all week talking to Boomer Banks, who's really done a good job of just kind of being there and helping out during this tough time. And, 34, Kodi.
So young.
So young.
And it's so sad, especially in this time. My heart just goes out to the family, and I pray for them to have peace and just, oh man, I just know this hurts so well. So I'm just praying for them. And it's just so sad, especially in this time with people. It seems like people are passing away so frequently in this time. We just had Leslie Jordan last week, and yesterday I heard about Takeoff from the Migos passed away too. So it's just such a sad time. So
yes, we will list the GoFundMe page to help out with memorial services for Andre. I'll post that on TAGSPodcast.com Thursday morning. And if you want, you can go to there and donate what you can when they need this help during this critical time. So thank you for that. Okay, we've got to talk about social media, and there's a lot in this next category. And we meant to talk about this the other day, Kodi, on Tags Podcast episode 412, and I just skipped over it. I can't believe I skipped over it. But
what?
I know.
We just got so locked in conversation. That's what it was.
We had more fun on that show than to talk about this, but it's important. Elon Musk, as we all know, has just taken over Twitter. And no sooner, 72 hours had he taken over acquiring Twitter, Elon Musk tweeted a baseless conspiracy theory involving Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul, who, as we all know by now, suffered severe injuries during a violent attack last Friday. Elon took to his social media platform on Sunday to spread disinformation about the 82-year-old, we're talking about Paul Pelosi, who had been beaten in the head with a hammer by an intruder. And in response to a tweet Hillary Clinton sent out about David DePape, and David DePape is the one who broke into the Pelosi's house, the suspect in the attack on Paul Pelosi, he spread far-right conspiracy theories. Quote, there is a tiny possibility there might be more to this story than meets the eye, and included a link to a false article that claimed Paul Pelosi and a male sex worker had been in a drunk quarrel. In the name of throwing us gays under the bus, Kodi, what the hell?
What in the world? She is problematic with a capital P. I don't even understand it. Spreading falsehoods and conspiracy theories, in fact, is so dangerous. And now that he owns Twitter, so many people are ready. I'm ready to jump ship. Because he's going to be unstoppable. I don't even know. I read that there was a surge of like 500% of people. By 500%, people were Googling how to delete their Twitter. Not only is that tweet disparaging to the Democratic Party, but it's also harmful to the gay community at large. Like, now we all gay prostitutes now. What in the world? I'm out here trying to live my life.
Exactly. What's El Rey saying?
He said, I was afraid Elaine was going to go down this path. Power is a mother effer.
Elon.
Oh, Elon. I was like, who is Elaine?
I know. I'm like, Seinfeld? That's why I made you read it.
I did. I was like going through all the Elaines in my mental
I was
Rolodex.
totally thinking Julia Louis-Dreyfus. And I'm like, how does Seinfeld and Elaine Julia fit into this? But I'm all, sometimes Kodi's more up on pop culture stuff than me, so let me let him.
No, I was confused. I was like, "Ooh, that bitch Elaine, go get her."
You're right. I hate series. Is that right? I know, right? Too funny. Yes, exactly. Well, he has officially, and let's just see how this plays out. But more on social media, though. We have to talk on. Okay, this is kind of an exciting new venture. So the Grindr founder, the original Grindr founder, not the current one, Joel Simkai, launches what are we calling it? Moto?
However you want to say it,
Motto, a gay and queer matchmaking app that rethinks hookup culture. Motto's goal is to enable sexual exploration and expression while eliminating catfishing, headless torsos, endless scrolling, toxicity, and discrimination. So, Motto is a sex-positive matchmaking app for gay and queer hookups and casual dating from Joel Simkai and Alex Hostetter. It's now available only in New York City, but also I read in Miami as well. It will venture out to every city.
With our list.
You can put yourself on the waiting list. Motto is Simkai's first venture since leaving Grindr 5 years ago and was created as a premium ad-free alternative for gay and queer community members. Motto focuses on finding you the right people, not just the closest, on the quality of interactions, not the quantity. Motto sends a push notification at the same time every day with a personalized group of people. Then members decide if they want to start a conversation or not. I kind of like that idea, though. It's very after work business crowd kind of thing, or that thing that I went to, you know?
Yeah, that was the first note that I wrote, actually. It sounds like speed dating. Yeah.
Speed dating, yeah, kind of, which I think worked for me in various ways. Quote, the vast majority of gay and queer people aren't satisfied with their online hookups and dating experiences. Motto's goal is to help you find someone you're into without frustration, reduce the amount of time you spend on the hookup apps to just a few minutes a day. That part I like, and I'm going to read you something on a Reddit thread in a second, and bring people together in the physical world, said Motto founder. Grindr created a lot of, so they talk about what they did and are tooting their own horn, but that they want the process of we built Motto to address these issues, simplify the process of hooking up, and bring back the fun in finding someone you're into. Motto should be just as positive for your mental health as it is for your sex life. Oh, wow, look at them.
I love it.
It's membership.
I'm all about that.
Membership-based app, a free membership-based app developed and designed using research and input from thousands of gay and queer people from different backgrounds across the country. They heard a lot about the frustrations, Kodi, that have plagued current ways, and I kind of feel like this is the 2.0 of the dating scene and app culture. And I know I'm here for it. I already started the process of setting up my app. I know there's no
question for you.
Yeah, I did. I was gonna spend. I'll probably spend tomorrow, the next day, choosing, because you have to choose a minimum of 3 pictures, and they all have to be your face shots. And so I was kind of going through 3 of recent shots that are me in different kind of settings. That maybe one will be shirtless, but the other 2 will be just me and out and about. That
looking
probably
cute.
Probably
eyes wide
maybe eyes wide shut. I don't know, but I have a mask on, so I'm not sure how well that's going to be. Yeah,
you need your face to show.
Yeah, I have enough stuff. So I think I'm here for it. You know what I really like about it is that he got out of Grindr and is just. A lot of these apps aren't working for a lot of people. They don't work for me. What's an interesting question for you is, it worked for you.
Yeah.
But before you answer and tell me, there is a Reddit thread that kind of relates to this. And the person wrote, for those that have struggled with being addicted to Grindr, how did you break it? And he writes, I've passed in the past few months with the common deleting and re-downloading Grindr for quick hookups. It's not the hookups that make me depressed, but the constant searching for sex and procrastination that has caused negativity, impacts my life and my mental health. I wasted so much time looking and getting plagued with indecision and guilt. I have a really high sex drive and I'm in an open relationship. He goes on, but this is essentially, I think, Motto, if it's really what it says it is, could be a good alternative for him. And What are your thoughts, Kodi?
Oh no, I love motto. Just like we were talking about, it sounds like your speed dating thing, where the emphasis is less on sex and more on making a connection with somebody. And I wish it was out when I was single. And it sounds to me like they've been listening to our podcast, because you say this all the time. You're always like, Grindr doesn't work for me. The apps don't work for me. This sounds like something that actually legitimately could work, because it sounds like it's more functional. When I was on Grindr, I was trying to focus more so on having a connection with somebody, because that's, for me, having sex with somebody means I have to have a connection with them of some form.
Right. Yeah.
Most of the time. I'm not going to say every single time. There are exceptions to that rule, but
obviously,
most of the time, I would like to have a connection if we're going to have sex, because the sex is always just better if you have that connection. So I love this. I think that it's a great idea. And Art, do you want me to address being addicted to Grindr? Because I have a bunch to say about that too.
Yeah, before you do, let's read a couple comments.
Okay.
Somebody's thank you, Oz. Let me just scroll down there. I feel like any app that's exclusively gay will somehow be turned into a hookup forum. Okay. So I think, to your point and what you said, you're excited about it. I'm excited about Motto. The premise and what I read, you guys, I got this press release earlier. So the intention, at least what they're writing in the press release, is a good intention and sounds 2.0 and different. Let's give them a shot and let's see where they go with that. Child, they built this to get paid, El Rey says. We'll see. It's currently free. Le Wilden says, I like it because we need more alternatives, especially since Grindr has been sold to a conservative gay. Yeah. I wonder how they will protect our privacy. Well, yeah, there you go. On all these. And don't all the apps start this way, like that? Yeah.
We'll see.
I'm gonna try.
You'll see. Let me know. Let us know.
I'm gonna try. I'll be the guinea pig, and I hope some of you will join me on it, and let's report back. But I really want to see if it's different and new. I don't, Kodi, to your point, want to spend a lot of time on these things. I find it's so, even more and more, I get more frustrated when I see people in the gym. Not that I'm not in my own world doing my own thing, but so many people are buried in their phones, walking down the street on a busy afternoon. I want to say, hey, wake up, because they're like walking and looking at their phone. And if I don't move to the right or move to the left so that they can pass by me, they're going to crash right into me. And it's like, pick your head up out of your phone. You're going to get a double chin. And
fine, I'm sorry.
It's just, yeah.
It's me. I'm that person.
I'm not that person. I just don't find, it's just culturally, I guess. I don't know, or age-wise, I'm just not into it. But so if you could culminate the time that I don't have to spend on the phone and give me a curated list of those people that I might match up with, I'm here for it. Yeah. But what, you spend a lot of time on the app?
Oh my God. I spent so much time on Grindr. I was legit addicted to Grindr. My friends had a mini intervention for me as far as Grindr was concerned. I feel like when we started to hang out more and more, they had already had the intervention.
Okay.
And so what I had to do was actually physically put the phone away, because their main complaint was that I wasn't connecting with them enough, and that our time wasn't time that was actually spent getting to know each other and being in each other's presence and loving one another and getting to know one another. And I think that I saw that my addiction kind of got in the way of it. So yeah, I put away the phone. At one point, I even deleted Grindr. So that was even before I deleted it because I started dating Joe. So that's a whole nother reason to delete Grindr.
Well, okay, yeah.
Yeah, but even now, I still occasionally wonder what's going on Grindr. That's why I was so happy to make your profile for you on Grindr, because I could be on Grindr and be like, oh my gosh, who is it? Who is this? We should hit him up and all that kind of stuff, because you get that rush from it. So it's completely understandable, but you also have to take the time to get to know the people that are actually in your space and connect with them.
Yeah, I'm gonna try this and give it a shot. I think it's brand new. I like that. I love change. It sounds 2.0 to me, like a shift in the culture. At least trying to doesn't mean it's going to work, but I'm here for it and I want to
Yeah.
try it all out. Let's read a
I can't
couple.
wait to come over your house and go through all your
Okay, yeah. Oz says, honestly, the best thing would be to start meetup groups with targeted interests and plan mixes around those interests. Yes,
Oh, that's
I was
fun.
talking with a friend, and as I've gotten into personally hiking recently and going on hikes, my friend was telling me that she was a part in a different city of hiking groups, and there probably are in where I live here in New York, where you live, wherever you live, special interest groups that you could get involved with. So whether it's tennis, or I know a lot of people like volleyball or art, or here in New York City, we've got this great thing where you can go sketch really hot, naked, almost naked guys in a bar, and you're
Oh, I love
amongst,
drink and
yeah, drink
draw.
and
It's
draw.
so much
So I
fun.
personally am not, no, I would do it, but I would be gawking and drooling at the hot asses that
Mine
I was trying to draw.
mine
So
would
I would
be
be
a
really
stick
bad at it,
figure.
and it would be stick. I would be a little bit above stick figure, but it would still be a
No.
Monet exchange of some sort. And yeah, but my point is that you can, I love the, thank you, Oz, and to piggyback off what you're saying, I think meetup groups can be great, and maybe it's something Mono will include, but I love that idea because there's something for everybody. We all have some interests outside of just going out,
Yeah.
and if you can find those, if you happen to live in a city, that's great. He says most major cities have kink societies. Do they call them moshes, sloshes, and noshes depending on the type of meetup? Yeah,
Oh,
we
my.
here have Daddy Meetup in New York, and I get their emails,
Why
and
am I
there's
just now hearing about Daddy Meetup?
Daddy Meetup, and so they'll have things like jockstrap kettlebell classes or naked
Yes.
yoga, or then they have the more kinkier versions like jack off, circle jerk,
Okay. I can go to
Tuesday
that.
Tuesday lunch jerk off, those kind of fun stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That
all
sounds
fun
cool.
stuff.
I
Yeah,
love
all
that.
kind. Lastly, in our social media news, Tumblr, if you still knew they were around, but they are, is to allow nude images, not sexually explicit ones, still not okay. Blogging site Tumblr will now allow images of nudity, the company announced on Tuesday in conjunction with an update to its community guidelines. Quote, we now welcome a broader range of expression, creativity, and art on Tumblr, including content depicting the human form. And yes, that includes the naked human form, the announcement read. The site, however, will continue to prohibit visually depictions of sexually explicit acts, along with hate, spam, violent threats, or anything illegal, the company noted. And the decision to allow nudity comes after Tumblr announced in September that it was instituting community labels that let users filter the content they viewed. It
Oh, wow.
quote, it was our first step toward a more open Tumblr, the Tuesday announcement explained. And I was thinking about this, Kodi,
Mhm.
and I like Tumblr, but is do you think this is far enough? Because they used to allow so much more before. And is it like, can you just play with the people? Because really, I was thinking about this. I have an
Mhm.
OnlyFans account now to follow other members, and
Oh.
I follow two members, but I had to create a profile on there, and recently two people have decided to follow me, which I guess
Charge
as a
up.
so I was thinking, is 2023 my year to,
Yes, it is. Make that money,
maybe,
honey.
yeah. And I guess the point being is, I guess I could use Tumblr now and Twitter to post my, teaser shots,
Yes,
and then you get the real
there's
thing. So I guess in the case that I'm proposing, it might work out because I would want to use Twitter and give them a tease of what you could get on OnlyFans, but I can now also use Tumblr too.
yes. Uh-huh.
And the more places you have to promote what you really want to be selling or displaying in the art room,
oh yes,
then I think that's kind of a good thing. What are your thoughts? Yeah.
Totally. I agree with you 100%. I do think that it's not far enough, but I think that once they see how far, like, OnlyFans tried to do this as well. They threatened to get rid of all the sexual content. When they see how many people come back to Tumblr because of this, especially with everything that's going on over at Twitter with Elon Musk, which we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
I think that they're going to get more adventurous as far as what they accepted in their content. So my guess is that they will eventually allow sexually explicit material and then find a way to filter it out because I think that's a nice middle ground for them to be on. So I really hope that they wisen up and fill this gaping hole that Elon Musk is going to leave in the internet.
I agree. And just moving on to our next story and more on social media. We could not talk. We had so much more to talk about. This section is called More on Social Media. Knowledge is power. And this comes from a listener, Sinfully Good, who listens to us all the time and often comments and gives us really good insight into what we should be talking about. He said he notices popping up a lot on Twitter, quote, a bottom finding out his top been topped is like a chick finding out her man is gay. I'll read it again. A bottom finding out his top has been topped is like a chick finding out his man is gay. He said this has been posting up a lot lately. I don't think that's true at all.
I don't think so.
The atrocity of thinking your man is one way and finding out the opposite is probably gut-wrenching, to say the least.
Yeah.
To find out that your man just doesn't want that, liked some dick D every so often, is kind of refreshing and could potentially give you a break, because let's just say you're with a guy that's 10 inches, like we were just talking about. Are you really going to be ready at all times when he's ready to? I dated a guy that was super huge and he was all top. I think I would be refreshed to know that, oh my gosh, you enjoy it. Now you know what I experience.
Yeah.
And now we can mix it up a little bit, even if it's 90-10. Yeah. I would be happy with that. But all the pressure to always be ready and prepared to take all that, I don't know if it's sustainable to I'm all about my organic living. Organic loving, I should say.
Yeah.
Then I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree with you. I think as gay men, we should be as versatile as possible. It feels like we should be more well-versed, pun intended, in all aspects of our sexuality, because for me, being
sorry, I mean, go ahead, I'm listening.
A feminine top, a blouse, if you will. Having bottom before has only improved my topping skills, in my personal opinion. And you can check my credentials, honey, because my Yelp reviews are top tier. I got 5 stars on Yelp.
You know this is going to be repackaged tomorrow morning on the quote of the day. Thank you for giving me the quote of the day.
I did it just for you, boo. Yeah. Go ahead. What are you saying?
I 100% agree with you. Some of the comments said, me to the top. How can you top a bottom and let a man bend you over?
Right.
Others said, the gays are so desperate to be straight, it's pathetic.
That was my next point. It feels
I like that point.
This is toxic masculinity in some form or fashion, in a different through a different gay lens, because why can a top not experience the same pleasure as a bottom at the end of the day?
Yeah, do you just get to, right? I think to your point, it's kind of a beautiful thing that, yes, if you find yourself in one position and you meet somebody and it works out, that's great. But part of the beauty of being gay is you can mix it up. And that's not saying that, again, it could be 90-10, but I would be excited as a 90% bottom here, although I've talked recently on the show how I've really explored my top side at 51, and I'm totally here for it. And I thought I was going to have to take a stimulant of some sort to be hard the whole time. Turns out I don't even have to. And so it gives me such renewed life to know that, oh, I would love to not always have to be the bottom the whole time. And like you said, to know how it feels. And I'm packing some decent package,
some heat over there,
so I could serve it. What are we talking about? All of a sudden, are we talking about Thanksgiving dinner or a side of mashed potatoes? I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. But let's read some comments. Go ahead.
You know what's funny is that over Halloween, one of my boyfriend's friends asked if I would be okay. He asked my boyfriend Joe if I would be okay getting my ass eaten out. And I was like, hell to the yes, please come over here. I just have to make sure it's nice and cleaned out before you go down there. But please come and eat this ass. I love it. The first time I ever got my ass eaten, I was climbing the walls. It was stellar.
Well, just go have another colonic like you just recently told us you did, and you'll be good to go.
Ready, honey.
What are people saying, Kodi, before I move on?
The people are saying a good top has bottom, says El Ray. Oz says it's called being versatile. El Ray also goes on to say apparently he had unrealistic fantasies of a top, and El Ray agrees. Oz also agrees with me and says the best top knows firsthand what it's supposed to feel like. So I 100%. And Llewellyn says, who cares if he can take it? That means he knows how to give it. And El Ray says there's always one that will get through. I'm not quite sure what he means by that, but I need a little bit of context on that one. And says versatiles are the proverbial redheads. Like they don't really exist. They're very few and far between is what I
that's where I go back to true versatiles may not be a 50-50 thing, but I do think there are 80-20s and 90-10s that can exist. So in other words, you can meet somebody, most of the time I want a bottom. That's been the role that I've been most comfortable with. And those that I'm going to connect with are going to be the other role top. But it's not hard and fast. And the part of being gay that's not, like you said, a misogynistic view lens is that we have that beauty to kind of flip it and mix it and try something different. And, and how fun would it be? I've just flipped it at 51 and it's been really satisfying. And so, I'm here
like Missy Elliott.
Flip it and
I put my thing down, flip it and reverse it. Yeah.
Do we need to cue that up? Because I love that song.
Yes, it's so good.
Coming in 2023, you guys, on our Patreon page, we're doing a pre-party for our listeners that wanted just for a small change that, just to give you a little heads up, our Patreon members help support the show and keep this show running. And we are about to celebrate 6 years in January. Super excited about that, of podcasting, the OG Sex podcast. And one of the things that we're going to be offering in 2023 is a little pre-party to this show. And you'll only get it if you support us on Patreon. And one of the things you'll be getting is some of our favorite tunes. You can ask us anything. We'll do some cocktail, concoctions and all the good stuff. You can support us and keep the show running on Patreon.com/, youtube.com/TAGSPodcast. And we appreciate all of you who have supported at some moment in time, or those considering it at whatever. We know it's a tough time, but we really thank you for all your support. And just for listeners, we thank you and participating in our live show.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. I did want to give you a little heads up on one last social media that I did not know. I was looking at a guest that's been on our show's social media, Will Tantra. We're going to have him back on the show next year. He was talking about being a service top. I did not know what a service top is, but the definition is it's part of the kink BDSM community, and it's where a top gets off on the needs of a bottom. And he was with are you one of those?
I am indeed a service top.
A top that gets off on the needs of his bottom. I like that. I really like that.
It's great.
It's
well, go ahead, finish your story. I'm sorry.
Just that I'm looking for a service top, and we're just going to put it out there. I've got the stage for the moment, so I'm putting it out there. But go ahead.
Hey, get it. We are accepting applications at TAGSPodcast.com. No, yeah, it's great to be a service top. I feel like that is a position that I play, that I really enjoy playing, and because there's nothing hotter to me than actually, God, it's about to get dirty.
We're called a sex podcast, so yeah.
Being inside the person that you love and just seeing the pleasure that you are giving them, having their eyes roll into the back of their head, to hear the moans and the various the bodily movements of pleasure. It's so intoxicating.
Or how about, let me piggyback, or literally piggyback, when somebody is piggybacking you.
Oh, you mean like being in the middle?
Or just somebody's behind you and your bottom grabs your ass and your legs to pull you in closer. Woo! Or to grab you. You know what I'm saying? I know. Those are those moments that you're connected on a multitude of levels and vibrations. That
it is glorious.
Glorious.
So, if I am a service top, I have a new title to place on my resume now. Service top.
Service top. I love it. Okay, well, we've got to move on as we are still live. Lots to cover in the next part of the show. Yeah, I know. We want to talk about some coming out stories that really, I think, made the waves. And one of them was Magic Johnson on learning to accept, his gay son, EJ. Quote, he changed me. The year was 2010 and scarves were in. Very European, says EJ Johnson, the son of Magic Johnson, as he recalls when he came out as gay to his father. Quote, even in the summer, you had your linen scarves. That was the look. And of course, I was rocking the scarves because it was hot and he just could not stand it. In a new interview with Variety ahead of the April 22 release of They Called Me Magic, an Apple TV Plus docuseries that covers his life and career, Johnson revealed that he initially struggled to come to terms with his son's sexual orientation. Quote, when you grow up in team sports, you're thinking, is he going to play sports, Johnson says? And then when I saw that he liked dolls and to play dress up, quote, what are you doing? I was out to all my friends, says EJ, who is now 29. My parents were the last people that I really had to talk to about it. It wasn't new for me, but they had to really take that in and digest it, especially my dad, because he was really the last person to talk to. I think it was just a lot for him to swallow in that conversation, a lot of just going back and forth. And he was just rattling off about things that weren't particularly nice, but he's not somebody who works great being concerned or surprised. He'd come up with stupid rules. But ultimately, he did come around.
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah, that's
Kodi?
the most important part. Yeah.
And he got ahead of the curve. In another story I was reading, it seemed like he came around sooner in that Instagram post that we were talking about earlier.
In the interview.
But it sounds like he had a lot to come to terms with Magic Johnson, which is kind of surprising to me, because how are you, who are HIV positive, not gay, but it sounds like he wasn't as accepting as early as maybe he could have been, because his son, I mean, you're HIV positive, which is associated with our community, and you think you would have been a little bit more. I think it's befitting that he was handed down. I think you're handed down what you can handle.
Yes.
And he was handed down a disease that he's done remarkably with and still living today. And such a role model, Magic Johnson. But he was also handed a son that is very out there, I would argue. And I think, I'm glad that they've worked it out. What are your thoughts?
Me too. In the interview, like you said, I think that in the interview, what he said was, one of the quotes that really jumped out at me was that EJ changed him, and so gave him more perspective on life and what it really meant, like to love your child, which is something that really touched my soul. I really think that a lot of parents can learn from Magic Johnson, and because a lot of parents get hung up on what the picture or what the idea of what they hope for their kids are, and they forget that the ultimate goal for any child is to make sure that they're happy and taken care of and loved, and everything else after that is just cake.
Yeah. Moving from cake to Cookie, do you know Cookie Johnson, his wife?
Little known, get it. You better do it.
I love a cookie over a cake. But Cookie Johnson, little known fact, I used to work behind the desk at this trainer gym in the 90s. When I first moved to LA to be an actor, I worked behind one of the first early trainer gyms. So it was nothing but trainers and their clients, and many of them were celebrities. Some of the celebrities that I could care less about, Ryan Seacrest was always in there, always. But Cookie Johnson came in to take spinning class, and I would have and I worked the front desk, and I was a newbie in LA and bright-eyed, and I was like, so we would get, I'd be like, Ryan, go. And then, and he was like, get in there. But Cookie Johnson, I was always like, hi. And she was super nice and lovely at the time. And I was just like, but a lot of other celebrities that we ran into that I'll tell you later, but super fun. And I'm happy for him. And, unlike that, which sounds like a natural way of Magic Johnson accepting his son, and I'm glad he's talking about it in a new docuseries. Heartstopper Kit O'Connor was forced to come out as bisexual after queer-baiting accusations. So Kit O'Connor is in a show. The show, I guess, is called Heartstopper.
Yep, that's it. It's actually pretty good too.
What's it on, Kodi?
It's on Netflix. Let me double check.
Is it good?
I've only seen 2 episodes. From what I saw, it was pretty good.
Okay.
It's like a tween type deal.
Okay. So Kit O'Connor is one of the stars of it, and he's been forced, according to many articles I've read, to come out as bisexual at just the age of 18 after fans claimed he was queerbaiting for his role in the teen love story that, like you said, Heartstopper. Quote, back for a minute, I'm bi. Congrats for forcing an 18-year-old to out himself. I think some of you missed the point of the show. Bye. So back for a minute, adding to Connor's sentiment, it also seems like these people have forgotten themselves what it's like to be in the closet. A lot of and I think because of just postings he had posted, he's only 18.
Wow.
A lot of the cast have been posting stuff to promote their show, but I don't know. It doesn't sound like he was happy about being forced to. Although no one put a gun to his head,
But still, he must have...
Yeah, but I agree. I'm just saying...
No, nobody was actually physically forcing him to come out. But, like...
people can be horrible.
The harassment...
He should have
Yes.
learned the lesson early on. Don't read the comments.
Don't read the comments
And when
because
you're famous on a show like that, really, you have your PR team handle your Twitter account. Really?
Yeah, because the people were probably harassing him about, and I read in the article that he also had an issue with the whole gay actors playing gay roles, which we've had a discussion about on this show several times. And he's like, you never know what somebody's sexuality is, so it's kind of problematic to have that. And I can see his point, but I think it's kind of a layered discussion. And and at the end of the day, like I just want everybody to have a level playing field as far as acting is concerned, and or in any profession really. So my heart goes out to him really, because I don't think that at any age you should be forced to do something that you're not ready to do, including coming out to the world, basically, because that's crazy. He had to come out to basically the entire world. That's not cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I feel about it. I think, Twitter trolls are horrible, and you can't. It's sad because he's only 18 years old, but
Twitter owners are horrible. Wait, what?
I just say that? But I also, Twitter owners, hello. But I think, where was his team to back him up? Where was his team at? How is he an 18-year-old talented actor, and where was his team to really help him out? And these teams he's got agent, management, on and on and on. And where were they to kind of help circumvent some of this bullshit that he had to go through to come out that way? But coming out is a personal thing, and maybe he didn't even share with many of them. So, the trolls got to him. But good for him for handling it in a mature way. And I think he's going to be okay. But we're here for you. Maybe I'll check out that series.
Daddy says he watched it in 2 days. So
what did he think?
He said, I would have loved to have something like it out when he was a teenager. So I think that's his stamp of approval. So
okay, got it.
Ray also says forcing an 18-year-old to come out in this climate.
Love it. Yeah. All right. Well, we've got a little bit of time to cover this next topic. It's two stories that we're merging into one and a whole discussion on it in the course of like 5 minutes. Okay, we can do it.
We got this.
The first one, I'll read you the two topics. The first one, by one news source, says, is a 37-year-old age gap love against the odds? So essentially, when I was single in my mid to late 20s, my search filters on Tinder, they write, and Grindr always ended at the age of 55. I don't think there's anything wrong with dating outside of your age as long as you both are legal adults and mature enough to handle a relationship. Plus, I'm sure there's more than a few of you reading this article, myself included, with a zaddy daddy kink. Then there's, so we, especially as gay people, face so many hardships for loving who we love: same-sex relationships, same-sex interrelationships, and trans relationships. Unfortunately, there's always going to be a percentage of the population who hates us just because we're not cookie-cutter heterosexuals. I'll put the rest on TAGSPodcast.com. But we're pairing it up with does the older guy in a relationship have to be the responsible one? And this article essentially says guys just want to have fun, right? Even when they're the older one in a relationship. One fellow told a Reddit gay community that he's scared of dating a younger guy because he doesn't want to feel the pressure of having to the more mature, more responsible one. Quote, I don't want to be someone's daddy, that the user wrote. This sucks because I've been approached by younger guys who are very attractive. Some commenters on the thread could sympathize. Oof, I get this. One wrote, I work with a guy that I flirt with on and off, and we joke around a lot too. He's 18, I'm 24, so I'm sure I should even give him a shot. Anyway, I get it. I hope everything works out in a way that's mutually beneficial. Interesting comments. That we'll start with you, Kodi, because you are. What's the age gap between you and Joe?
6 weeks.
Let me ask the question again.
I'm a newborn 31-year-old.
And I'm going to need you to swear with your hand up in a court of law. Judge Judy here.
Judge Judy is here.
Judge Judy just joined in, and she's not having it.
She's not.
She's also not having that.
Malarkey.
She doesn't want all your malarkey, and you're wasting too much time on her watch.
Okay, sorry. I apologize.
How much of an age gap is between you and your boyfriend, Joe?
11 years.
11 years. Thank you very much.
Your Honor, 11 years.
Thank you very much. Okay, so it's not a 37-year age gap. But let me move on to the second point of the question. Yes. Does the older guy in a relationship have to be the responsible one?
I don't think so. I think that...
I don't either.
I'm not the responsible one in my relationship.
Well, let me just, before you answer the rest of it, because you're really living it, it's... Hello, do we not? So what? We get a certain age and we only have to learn from our age, and we're expected that we learned everything?
Yeah.
Newsflash, I didn't learn everything and missed every class practically, but the fun class, I know how to have fun. So that would assume that, and everybody older than me, it's like, no. I learned from so many of my younger peers all the time. People know different things about different things. So it's just kind of a weird proposition to think that the older one, but Kodi, and I know you're not in this, which I love about your relationship, is because you are not in this boat. But there are those relationships out there with the older one who's taking the younger one in. And if you're listening to us on the audio podcast, I'm cradling in an imaginary boyfriend underneath my wing here, which my wings are getting pretty big lately, Kodi. I'm doing a lot of lats.
You better do it.
Yeah, I am. But that's a different OnlyFans proposition coming soon in 2023. But the point is, a lot of those guys fall under that category where they just want to take somebody in, but if the younger one, misbehaves, all hell's gonna freeze over.
It's true.
I don't I think I've been in that situation before of older, and it's gross.
And it's not okay. I mean, it wasn't okay for me. For some people, it probably works just fine, but it wasn't okay for me. I think that I completely agree with you that a relationship should be based on two people trying to make each other better at the end of the day. And to further kind of expound on your point, because like you said, I am living it right now. I think that in my relationship currently, I teach Joe things and Joe teaches me things. Joe teaches me how to be more confident and about reaching for my dreams, even when having that drive to make sure that I aspire to be the greatest me as far as my work is concerned. And I think I teach him a lot about patience. We teach each other about patience. And I think that I teach him how to relate to people better. And he's even said that. I actually texted him.
And not be so bossy. That's just something that happens in relationships. That's all, not your relationship.
And we also teach each other how to be vulnerable. We teach each other how to be vulnerable, because the way that he's vulnerable is not necessarily the way that I am vulnerable.
Yeah, so, it's not an age thing.
Yeah,
because we all come from different backgrounds, different lifestyles, and different choices that we make in life, work, and everything that we're focused on. I know a lot about the arts and politics and things of communications. I don't know the first things about engineering and a lot of, scientific, tons of things.
Yeah.
And so many people know that. But perspective on life can get you out of your rut that you're currently in. And we all get in those ruts. So I can be 51, the age I am, and be angry about something stupid and silly. And my younger partner can say, lighten up, because you have this plus, it's a yin and yang is the point of the story. And so I just think, yes, it can be a beautiful thing. And it's one of the things, to go back to that misogynistic wave lens that we were talking about, that is kind of beautiful about our LGBTQ acronym, is that we have the ability, because we're such a young being, lifestyle, to really intertwine with ourselves, and that doesn't always involve the same age group. And it's kind of a beautiful thing that really is, I think, iconic and setting a tone. That's kind of cool. And it has less to do, I mean, I just always learned from I've heard some people say in the past, and I practices, I have friends of various age groups, and I think it's really important in multicultural people, and I think that just enriches my life all the time. So let's read a couple comments. The younger ones should consistently demonstrate they're capable of holding their own. The younger ones should consistently demonstrate they're capable of holding their own. Okay, And the elder in the relationship, Oz says, has to acknowledge the other as an equal, yes, and responsible part of the union. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what we were talking about. Thanks for playing. And it's time for our final segment called Thirst Trap. And in this segment, we look at straight up gay porn, and it's a site. I'll post this on TAGSPodcast.com. And this week they're asking the question, out of these 14 porn stars, who took the best photo or video? And our job is to descriptively tell you why we thought, on an audio podcast, why they were the hottest of the batch. Who was your favorite, Kodi?
I think I just changed mine because I had a whole thing typed out, and now I just looked at this picture and
Adrian Hart.
Adrian Hart is so hot, especially with that huge penis. But Colton Reese in that sling with that ass hanging out of that jock strap is it's taking the cake for me. And that blue background, I'm all here for it. It makes me want to go buy a sling right now. And he's just too adorable. I think I know who you're gonna pick. Who did you pick?
Gael Kriok.
Yes, that is who I picked for you to pick.
Gael is laying in a mass of pillows with his one eyebrow up, beautiful black hair, beautiful beard, one eyebrow up. Did I say that? 6-pack abs, head, dick of steel, hairy in the right places, and is kind of like, come hither, what? Look on his face. And I'm here for it. But like I always do, I went onto Gael's Twitter account and I liked what I saw. So he gets my vote. And in fact, I'm going to vote for him right now on the feed because we want to. He is the leader. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm just voting for him right now because when you do, people go to it. You're right. He is the leader at 17.22%, 303 votes ahead of Kai Ecstatic. You can vote and you will help keep this going on and on. What are other people saying, Kodi?
They are agreeing with you, Gael Kriok. My original vote was for Valentin Armoire, and he's like in the kitchen, and he must be baking cake because all I see is a big ass in the frame, and I was like, yes, that's my first pick. But then Colton Reese just took my heart when I was going through it again. But people are saying Valentin Armoire also, and then Colton Reese is a close second. Yeah.
Adrian, my God.
Oh, Adrian, I missed that one. Yeah, Adrian Hart. Ugh. It's a good list this week. I'm so happy.
Yeah, excellent. I like when they're kind of curated a little bit less. I love that. Absolutely. Well, we want to thank you for our live audience for 100% for participating and watching us live and putting in the comment section. It really keeps the show conversation going. But you can always keep the conversation going by tweeting at us at TAGSPodcast, DMing us at TAGSPodcast on our Instagram account. Of course, we are on YouTube and the TikTok. And so we want to hear from you on all. Let's keep this conversation going because it's not just Kodi and I. We want to hear from you.
That's right.
And it makes it that much more fun. Follow my co-host Kodi. He's a life coach, and the new year's coming up. Kodi, are you going to be taking some new clients as the
Always
new year
accepting clients?
Okay, well,
so
you can
hit me up.
Hit him up at KMD Coaching, and you do relationships. And what's your expertise?
I do mainly relationship coaching for gay men. Yes.
How about career?
I can do career coaching. It's not my what I like to specialize in, but so I
relationship though.
I like to talk about boys at the end of the day
and help. Okay. We're going to explore this more in 2023 with you for the show.
I love to talk about boys and
how to get the boy,
how to get a boy, how to keep a boy, how to do all the things with the boy, how to service top a boy.
And you found the boy on.
I did.
So
and I've kept him for so long. Imagine that. I can't believe I've kept him for this long.
I love it. KMD Coaching, or his personal account, Mr. Maurice. Follow us, of course, at TAGSPodcast, or my personal account, I am _Steve V. And in the meantime, thanks so much. Continue watching and following us. And in the meantime, continue having hot gay sex. Yeah.